Welcome back to Trading with CJ, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel where we talk about all things stock market, investing and personal finance. Well guys, what a time it has been to be in the market right now, and what a week it has been as well. We've seen the US presidential election, and now as of Thursday, the UK has just gone into another 1 month national lockdown, and we know this is going to have a big effect on many companies out there, and lots of those companies are probably going to see some red days ahead, at least in the near future. So what does this mean for our stocks? Is it time to panic and sell your stocks? Take your profits while you can. Maybe you're holding out, waiting for the market to maybe stabilize a bit more. Or are you still going to invest no matter what? Well, these are the questions that we're going to be answering in today's video. And as always, guys, if you find this video useful or interesting, please hit the like and of course subscribe to my channel. It is greatly appreciated. So let's get into it. So let's just take you back here to the previous market crash back in about February, March time. And if we look at the FTSE 100 and the FTSE 250 here, just in case you're not familiar with this is the top 100 companies and then the following 250 companies in the UK in order of market cap. So very similar to the US S&P 500, but it's top 100 and then 250. And if we look at how they've performed since the market crash, if we take you back to prior to the market crash, the FTSE 100 here, it dropped off, it sold off about 32%. So in that crash originally, it dropped down about 32% and it has since recovered and is now 20% down, okay? So a big drop, a big sell-off, and now as a whole, it is recovering. And this is obviously 100 companies here, so not all of them are thriving right now. Still a lot of sectors are down, but a lot of them have recovered. And if we take it to the 250, which is some smaller cap companies here in the UK, more UK-based companies, this actually sold off 40%. And it is now, at this current point, down around about 16%. So this has recovered a hell of a lot more. Now, the thing about this crash is if you did buy back in then, you're probably making a profit. If you bought in at those extremely low levels, you're probably making a very nice profit right now. And you're hearing a lot of investors out there saying, oh, I wish I bought in. I wish I bought a lot more back then at those crash levels, because most stocks have recovered since. Very few are still down in extremely low positions or even further. A lot of stocks have actually recovered. So if you got in at those stocks right now, you'll be laughing and sitting on a big profit. Now, the reason I am touching on this is because people missed out on that opportunity back then. So this could present another buying opportunity. Now, whilst personally I do not think we have another crash coming, especially not after just a 1 month lockdown, I do think we're going to see some corrections in prices. And especially once the next earnings come out, people just can't help it. Despite the fact we know a lot of companies are going to produce bad earnings, especially like ones that are in sectors that have been hit hard, it just provokes a sell-off. Regardless of if you see it coming or not, we're probably going to see a sell-off in those particular companies. So I do not think we're going to have another crash, but I do think potentially a market correction. So we have to establish here if you are a long-term or a short-term investor. So if you are long-term, you are planning on holding these companies for a year, 2, 5, 10 years time. So what happens on a day-to-day basis, if it's up 10%, down 10%, it doesn't matter, because you're holding this company for a substantial amount of time for it to go in the right direction. And one of my favorite quotes when it comes to long-term investing is, if you like a company at $10, then you'll love it at $5, providing no fundamentals have changed. If nothing has changed, why would you not buy again at $5? Okay, if you're a short-term investor here, it is a lot more risky, because you have to pick a company and it's not got as much time here to be able to make you a profit. So you're talking about maybe a month, 5 months, something like that. So you've got to make sure you're picking the exact right companies, because we know how volatile the market is and unpredictable. This year has proven that more than anything. And if you are looking to make a profit tomorrow, then that is not investing, that is day trading, okay? And we are talking about investing here. So let's go through some different short-term investment strategies. So we already know the second lockdown is going to affect travel, airlines, pubs, restaurants, etc. And many of these companies in these sectors haven't really recovered too much from the previous lockdown. They're still nowhere near where they was trading at. If we just give you 2 examples here, we'll take Cineworld. Cineworld is a cinema chain. Obviously, they've been closed. They are closed now as well. And they're probably going to be closed for the foreseeable, because nobody can go to the cinema, at least not for another month anyway. And when they first crashed back in February, March time, it crashed down 88%, okay? And at its current price, it is now down 84% from that original crash price. So it's barely recovered, okay? Yeah, it did go up and down a bit over the past few months. However, at its current price, it's still down 84%. So it's not really recovered. And this is the same for many other companies out there. We take EasyJet, for example. EasyJet is the big airline company in the UK and Europe, etc. EasyJet is down 66% from the original crash, and now at its current price is down 64%. So once again, we haven't really seen a recovery. It did go up and down, but at its current price, it hasn't really moved too much. So they haven't moved too much from the original crash. Now with another lockdown for a month, it's probably not going to be the best bet for a short-term investment. These are going to take a lot longer to recover. That's why it's considered more safer to invest into these for the long term, because you don't know what the short term is going to do for companies like this. However, saying that, if we take you back to the previous crash, there are many opportunities out there, especially if we do see another crash or correction, to get some short-term profits on the table. Many companies sold off, pretty much all companies actually sold off at that crash in February, March. And most of them for absolutely no reason whatsoever, purely on the basis of just following the market, okay? They had no reason to sell off, they just followed the market, and now we've gone on to see these companies recover back to where they was, if not higher. So if you are looking for a short-term investment, you want to look at companies here that could sell off for pretty much no reason. The lockdown doesn't affect them. If anything, it can actually boost their business. So I'm going to give you a couple of different examples of this if there was to be some corrections in their prices. The first one here is Experian. Experian is a big technology company in the UK. Most people know it for giving out credit scores, etc. It's a technology company. It's all online. There is no reason for it to sell off, really. Maybe some bad earnings, a small correction. But when we see that, all the companies sell off at the lockdown originally, this was one of those companies, and it also dropped 33% at that price. 33%. Since then, it has now gone on to recover, and it is now up 64% from the crash levels. And that is kind of expected. There was no reason for it to sell off in the first place. So if you did manage to buy in at the crash, then it's kind of an easy money stock in terms of getting a quick return. Another example of this is ASOS. ASOS is a big fashion giant company in the UK. It's all online. So no reason for it to sell off again. We know that people are going to be shopping online more so than ever because shops are closed. So ASOS is in a really interesting space for a lockdown. And that actually sold off 64% at that previous crash. And since that previous crash, it has now gone on to recover, check this out, 346%. So another easy money stock if it was to crash, because there's no reason for it to. So these are the sort of companies you want to be looking at. These are not recommendations, okay? This is just examples here. If you are planning on investing, you should always do your own research first. But if you are planning on investing as a short-term investor, you want to look for companies that really don't have any reason for a crash or correction other than the fact that they are following the rest of the market. And the chances of them going up again in the short term is very likely. So to summarize here, do I think we're going to see another market crash? No, not at least anytime soon, but I do think there will be a correction in many companies' prices, okay? So you need to establish if you're a long-term or short-term. If you're a short-term investor, then pick companies that are selling off or having a correction for absolutely no reason other than following the rest of the market, and they will continue to do well whether we're in a lockdown or not. If you're a long-term investor, then it doesn't really matter, okay? As long as you like the company, you like the fundamentals, if you can get that company at a discounted price, why not? Because if you're holding it for a year, 2 years, 5 years, something like that, then it doesn't matter what it does in the short term. But as always, investing is volatile, okay? You are risking your money, so you have to be sure and you have to have faith in the company that you are putting your money into. So what is my strategy during this lockdown and potential bad earnings coming out? Well, I will still continue to add to my positions that I believe in and already hold. And if I do see any other opportunities out there, like the examples I've already given, and there are so many more I could give you as well, if I see any opportunities like that where they've crashed for no reason, then I will definitely be taking advantage of that as well. Let me know down below in the comments your thoughts. Are you holding any companies, buying, selling? Let me know what you're planning on doing with this lockdown. And as always, guys, I appreciate if you have enjoyed this video or just want to help me out to hit the like and subscribe to my channel. It is really appreciated, helping me get to 1K subs. Thanks for watching, and until next time.